the one, the only, Ben
Hey, welcome to Yeshiva YouTube Daily Doubles. We continue Mesechus Beitzah, Perek Aleph, Mishnayos Vav and Zayin. Mishnah Vav states, Beis Shammai Omrim Molichan Chalu Matanos LaKohen B'Yom Tov. Beis Shammai states, we don't bring Chalu Matanos to a Kohen on Yom Tov. Ben Shulmer Me'emesh, Ben Shulmer Me'ayom. Chalu and Matanos, you're allowed to make bread on Yom Tov, right? It's fresher if you make it on Yom Tov. And therefore, part of when usually you make a large amount of bread, you have chayiv and challah. So, even though technically hafrashas challah is asr on Shabbos, on Yom Tov it's mutter because I have to bake the bread. I want the fresher bread on Yom Tov. So I have to take it off. So, if ochal nefesh matter is nisr the dough raisa of lisha of kneading the dough and baking the dough, certainly matter is nisr the rabbanan. Matanos also, when you take off zroa lechayim and cave, when you shecht an animal, you have to give certain parts to the kohen. One of the shanks and one of the cheeks and the keva, part of the stomach, is supposed to give to the kohen. And even though technically also that would be hafrashas, shumas, and maisos, but again, it's fresh to shecht an animal on Yom Tov, so therefore if you're allowed to shecht, violating the shechita, also you're allowed to do that. And therefore, since you're allowed to do these things, you could also carry that. So therefore, you're allowed to do these things. You're allowed to shecht an animal, and you're allowed to bake bread. However, Beis Shammai in the Mishnah rules that you can't bring it to the Kohen. Because you bring it to the Kohen, you might come to bring truma to the Kohen, which you're not allowed to do. Well, Yisrael Matir, Yisrael says we're not worried. Amru lahem, so they said, Beis Shammai said, Der Shava, Chala, Matanos, Matana LaKohen. Truma, Matana LaKohen. They're both presents for a Kohen. All three are presents for a Kohen. Geshem She'en Molichanas and Truma, right? Take up Truma to Maestro, from any of my produce, let's say wheat or apples or something like that. There's no, I didn't need that. I could have taken it off yesterday. Why am I waiting till today? Right? When it comes to baking bread and shechita, it's fresher if I bake it on Yom Tov. That's why I waited till today. Truma, you could have taken them yesterday. There's no heter to violate the Isser of Farshas Trumas on Yom Tov. And therefore, even Beis Hillel would agree you can't bring Truma lest you come to take off Truma. So Beis Shammai takes it one step further. If you can't bring Truma, you could take off. You could take off Chala Matanas. You can't give it to a Kohen because you might come to do it by Truma. Amar Beis Hillel, lo. No, that's exactly the point. Chala and Drol Chaim Mekeba you can take off on Yom Tov, so therefore you can bring it. However, Truma you can't bring because you can't take it off. You have Truma in your house, right? You also can't bring it because you might come to take it off. Now the Gemara digresses and says a different version of Machlokas, but I'm going to explain it according to the way the Mishnah, the seeming stable explanation of the Mishnah. Let's go on to Mishnah Zayin. Beis Shammai omrim tavlan nidochen v'madoch shalitz. Beis Shammai says, if you want to crush spices, you want to use spices in your food, you have to make a small shinoi. So therefore, even though normally tavlin you crush with a stone, here you crush it with wood. Now, melech v'pacho eitzah parah. Melech, you can only use either earthenware or eitzah parah, a wooden spoon. You have to do some sort of shinoi. In order to know it, even though technically you're allowed to prepare, you need the tavlin now for Yom Tov, and maybe it's fresher to do it on Yom Tov, but still, you make a shina. We'll discuss in Ian Mitzion why you need a shina. V'yisrael omrim, tavlin nidochen gedarkan, v'madoch shalevet, v'amelech v'madoch shaleitz. You can do it the normal way. You don't have to make a shina. You don't have to change the way you do it. You can usually use a stone to grind up spices, and melech you usually use a piece of wood, which is the normal way you do it during the week. You don't have to make a shinoi. What is the machlokas between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel? I will tell you in Ian Mitzion coming up next.